Hello.
Hello.
We got our book to discuss today. Heart of the Sun Warrior.
Oof, gorgeous. I listened to mine, be like,
Thanks.
script.
Let's just keep it on this side. Light's better on this side.
Mhm.
Very pretty. I'll be like, hee Here's my copy. Ah. So, what did we think?
Okay, let me check what I actually rated it, because I read it a few weeks ago and I literally don't remember a thing, so that's not a very good sign, I think.
I finished it this morning. I had like 1 hour left on my audiobook. I was like, all right, let me do some painting and clean the house and listen to it. So
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. So
yeah, it's probably like a 3.5 for me.
Yeah, I loved it. So it was another 5-star.
Fair
I
enough.
really loved it.
was it better or worse for you than the first one, Gabby?
I think better. I actually enjoyed it more. I think it was a bit more like appropriate how quick it was because it was a sequel. So you're kind of like the time span wasn't so big, but we were doing a lot, which made sense. I really liked the ending actually. I like that bittersweet kind of thing, and yeah, overall I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm like the type of person. With this book, I feel like, no matter what you do, you're gonna do it wrong for me, because at first, like with the ending, I was mad at what happened, and then I was even madder at what happened after that. So I was like, well, if you're gonna do it, just actually do it, because I don't want to immediately go into spoilers here, but I don't know. It wasn't for me. It was like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But that's like that's like me. That's not necessarily the book, but that's me.
Mm.
And what about you, Kira? Did you like it more or less than the first one?
I probably like a slightly little bit less just because I kind of like the buildup of the first book. This one was good. I just I mean, I loved it. I actually probably liked the ending more than you did, I think, from the way it sounds.
Probably.
Um,
Not that that's a very hard thing too, but
but I thought it was overall like really good, and I thought it was just as action packed as the first one.
that it was. I mean, I think in that sense it was the same as the first one. It was fast paced, like lots of action, lots of plot. Um, so yeah, I feel like if you like the first one, then you'll really like this too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, I
definitely.
don't know how to explain it, but like for me it was just a bit meh. Like I didn't hate it. Um but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the issue's probably with me and not with the book, but
Yeah, it was quite like a. I know what you mean though, because like the ending, I guess. I mean, hello, Larissa. I don't know if you mind spoilers, but you also know. Um, but
I think she read it.
cool.
She was reading it at some point, so I think, judging by
Well,
how fast she
people in the
reads, she
comments
ought
can
to have
tell.
finished it by now.
People can tell us if they mind spoilers, because I do think the ending is such a big part of it. But I
Mhm.
was surprised, like some things felt like they came a little easy. Like for example, her father gaining back his immortality.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, like it seemed so easy. You're just like, boop, poof, done. But
Yeah. Okay, yeah, she read it.
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of like the ending because it was a little bit more like bold, I guess, than some like why I don't know. Is this YA? Is this adult? I don't know if we ever landed on that.
Yeah, in theory it's adult.
Oh, maybe that's why. But yeah, I feel like it was kind of like I know what you mean. I was like, oh wow, killed him off. That's brave. I thought the main character was gonna go off and like find a life separate from it. So to be fair, I didn't expect him to come back.
Yeah, like
Um,
that's my point. Like if you're going to
yeah.
kill them off, kill them off, keep them dead, and not do this, because I don't know, this was worse for me.
Yeah, I guess it did parallel a little bit her mother. Um, you know how she like was an immortal and waiting and thought like her lover died, but then turns out he's mortal. Um, so that just kind of came to me now. Maybe it was meant to be like a full circle kind of thing. So, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I
For a
don't know.
second, I thought she was gonna go get with that prince from that Sea Kingdom whose brother died. I was like, oof, that would be quick. but then it wasn't that, so I was like, thank God.
That part broke my heart though when the little boy died. I don't
Yes.
even like children, but that part broke my heart.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, he was my favorite. He's so cute.
yeah.
I-
I don't know. For me, I just feel like I said, damned if you do and damned if you don't, because I was rooting for her and Wendy, I think is his name. And then I was like, she was like distrustful of him, which I get after the first book. And then like he gave his life for her, and I was like, oh yes, yes, the angst. And then she brought him back, and I was like, why? Like I said, and damned if you do, damned if you don't, because like I was mad that she killed him, but then at the same time, I'm like, okay, I would have. How do I say it? That would have been like a ballsy move. I would have. I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have respected it, you know. But then she brought him back, and I was like, well.
Mm.
But yeah, like I said, it's me, and I can totally see why people would love it. It's like I thought I would have loved it because I was rooting so hard for them, but then I was like, yeah, but I didn't think this was it.
Mm.
My
And how
argument is circular and it's not sound. I know that, but
it's okay.
it's like,
And were you surprised at like who the main antagonist was? Because I feel like it was like hinted at in the last book, but I was like, whoa, he's the main antagonist? What? And then like the dad just went into some kind of shame spiral hiding thing afterwards. I was like, I thought he was the big bad, but he wasn't. That was interesting.
yeah, I really didn't trust him in the first book. So I was like kind of dreading it and kind of expecting it, I suppose.
Hmm.
What about you, Kira?
yeah, I didn't. I mean, there's always like little hints and stuff like that, but like you never really like you're never like really expecting it until it actually happens.
Yeah.
What I did like though with him, like is maybe a big word, but his connection to the tree,
Hmm.
like how they did that, like because he just toiled away at that it forged some kind of connection.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a cool because it was I'm sure it's based on a real myth or something, but it's like similar to the Sisyphus myth, you know, like
Yeah.
a pointless task. That's like your eternal
Is that the
anguish.
one with pushing the rock uphill?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, ooh, that's cool. And then yeah, I thought it like worked pretty well with like also how the mom, the goddess, the moon goddess, how her like tears also nourished it in a way. And it was like this
Hmm.
whole Laurel thing. They did like because they had this whole thing about the main character like being so weak after book one, and they did go away pretty conveniently. But I guess they wanted to like foreshadow and show that Laurel's power, which so I'm not that mad about it. But I was like, well, it's not very much a problem anymore, is it? Yeah, this book is just so fast. Like now I'm thinking about it, everything got resolved pretty quickly in terms of like we're looking forward to that showdown with the mother of the sunbirds.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
felt like was really quick, and then it just everything was quick. But again, because it's a sequel, I feel like I'm more used to the everything being quite quick, so I wasn't quite so mad at it.
Yeah, for me it was like the same issue I had with the first book.
Mm.
Like I feel like I would have loved this more if this would have been like a 700-page book, if you know what I mean. If everything would have just gotten a little more like time dedicated to it, I guess.
Mm.
But at the same time, I can also see why that wouldn't appeal to people. because then, you know, it would take some of like the really fast pace out of it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's what we said last time. Like, there are some things in the book that make, like, some people love it and other people, well, I don't want to say dislike it, but, you know, just like it a bit less for that. Like, it's just, it all depends on what your own preference is in books.
Yeah, because I actually like that's one of the reasons why I loved it is because it was so fast paced.
Yeah, and I can totally see that. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But for me personally, I would have liked just like we're not talking about Lord of the Rings 3 pages for a single tree style, but just to flesh things out a little bit more, I guess, and to how'd you say that, to explore like the emotions and everything a little bit more with it. Because like my issue with, I say issue, but issue is like such a big word because it's not really an issue, but like for me the first book lacked like character development. And I feel like that was also still the case with this one. And again, you know, it's because the pace is so fast that there's not a lot of room left for character development, I feel.
Right.
But like again, it's what one like the one thing that makes someone love it can make another person dislike it.
Yeah, definitely like big plot driven instead of character driven.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's so funny because like everything we said about book one kind of still stands. So it's like we've kind of spoken about it already. Because yeah, I feel like if you like book one, you'll like this book, and if you didn't like it or liked it less, you'll like this one as about the same amount. Like it's quite consistent in that sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's what a good sequel is, right? Consistent with what book one was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I think for me, because not that many, like I had big expectations for book one. I thought I would love it. So all that hype, like it felt like it didn't necessarily live up. Whereas with this one, I was more like level, being like, yeah, I'll probably enjoy it. It'll be a good time, and I enjoyed it. It was a good time. So yeah.
Yeah, for me it's the same. Like I didn't hate book one, but I didn't love book one, and I didn't hate book two, but although I didn't like the ending, and I didn't like love book two. You know, it's like it's a very solid 3 stars for me. For all the same reasons, the first one was a 3-star for me. So I'm not sure how much of a genuine discussion this is going to be, because we all basically feel the exact same about the books as we did about the first one.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the ending, Kira?
I remember like that I cried. I was just like, oh my God. I was just like, why is this happening? And then I was just like, wait a second. It can unhappen. This is great. So I was okay with that because I was just like, but he's lost, but he's not like gone, you know? And I'm like, they can get him back. I was really excited.
Yeah. To be fair, I felt a little emotional one part. I don't think when he actually died, but then when she was like grieving him and kind of thinking about him and his ghost and something, I was like, oh, this is actually really sad. Damn. So,
I actually felt like that was one of the best parts of the book, and that's why I was kind of so mad that they undid that, basically.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because I feel like, you know, that part really showed like her character development, how she had forgiven him and, you know, had come to trust him in that sense, and to have all of that taken away because he gave his life for her. And I really liked that, but I didn't like when he came back. I was like, you could have left him dead.
But
yeah,
I thought it was cute, especially when she went down to Earth and he was like, I know you. There was something very K-drama about it, and that part of me appreciate it. So. Sorry, my boyfriend came back. He was like, "Are you on the phone?"
Hello, boyfriend. Hello.
I don't know what I was gonna say. Whatever.
K-drama.
Yeah, it does feel like it felt like a K-drama, very much like, oh, you lost your memories. Wait, they're back. It's kind of like a bit dramatic thing.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there was at least a happy ending though, because like or there was like a prelude to a happy ending, you know. And I don't know, like I was on the fence like the whole time about like whether or not I like the prince better or Wenzi, you know? And I'm like, man, I was just like, but the prince kind of seems like he's got it together, like he's moral, you know, stuff like that. But we want a man that's going to burn down the entire world for you instead. So Wenzi was to me like was better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Li Wei was a bit vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
A bit vanilla is putting it mildly, I think.
I didn't have super strong emotions about either of them, but I think his name is Wensha or something like that because I listened to the audiobook. But I'm glad she went for him because I know what you mean. He was a bit more like a bit more spunk to him.
Yeah, he had a bit more. He was a bit more spicy.
He was a bit more spicy. It's true. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So it needs some breathing room to help you adjust to have things settle in.
Yeah, I think for me that would have made me like the book more.
Yeah. But like even in soap operas, like they end up bringing the guy back at some point. Like he lost his memory and he got lost somewhere. We don't know where his body is.
Yeah. I mean, K-dramas are basically soap operas. So yeah, basically.
Aww. Yeah, I loved him.
I totally thought they were gonna bring him back as well when he was like that soldier. That was maybe the soldier, but there was like she saw like a evil soldier and she was like, "Is that the prince?" I was confused why she didn't recognize him, but maybe they don't use the bodies. I don't know, but I was like, "Oh, they're gonna bring him back as well," but they didn't, and I was like, "Why not? He's the best." I do really love that the Empress. Well, no, I don't love that she died, but I love that she kind of came back to herself as a person and then died like being a warrior rather than just like this bitter woman put in a situation she doesn't really want to be in. So I like that.
Old woman.
And I like that it was kind of like foreshadowing for what could happen to the main character if she decided to become the Empress when that's not what she wants, kind of thing. So, yeah. Would you read from the offer again?
Yeah.
I probably would, but if that one would also be like a 3-star. I do have to say, because there is probably going to be another book, like not in the series, but in the world. I'm not going to count that. But if there's going to be like a different book in a different series, and that's also like mediocre for me, then I wouldn't know. Like it would all depend, I suppose, on like the synopsis and everything.
Yeah.
It's like she's not like an auto-buy author for me or anything, but the books were fine. I didn't hate them. The writing style was good. I loved her writing style, but so yeah, like I said, I would definitely give her another chance. It sounds so ominous.
So dramatic.
Yeah, but like I said, I wouldn't be counting the potential like other books set in this world because I feel like those would be in the same style, I guess.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count that per se. I would have to be like a completely different world series. Because if that's the same, then that's just her writing style, I guess. Her style of storytelling. And I mean, that's fine, but not everything is for everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the offer grow and like hopefully bring that fast action and just pad it out slightly more of character development, and then I feel like it'd be really good. But yeah, I'm curious what the offer. I don't know if there's anything announced about.
I don't think anything's been announced, except for the fact that there is going to be another book in this world, which is not necessarily going to be a sequel. I'm just Goodreadsing this right now. And I know that's not a verb, but I made it a verb. Let's see. It says here that there's a novel of the Celestial Kingdom series coming at some point on Goodreads.
Nice.
And a Legend of the White Snake retelling.
That sounds good. I don't know what that is, but that sounds good.
Yeah, there's no like release dates or even years or anything, but I think those are things that she may have hinted at. No, exactly.
Yeah, Larissa, you are speaking truth. I really love East Asian fantasy, actually, so I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I'm actually reading another one right now.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been promising Esme to read this for the last 3 years or so, so I figured it was time during like final book support.
Yeah. That's the sequel to Spin the Dawn from Elizabeth Lim, right?
Yes.
See, that's a funny one for me because I read Spin the Dawn, did not like it. Like, I like the writing and I like the first half, but then I was like, no, thank you. And then like her newest series, which is Six Crimson Cranes, and the sequel was like, both were on my favorite, like number one on my favorite. Like, I think first book was on my favorite list of the year, and I'm just so in love with it. So I'm like, you always gotta give a second shot if it sounds good.
Yeah, like for me, this is a bit difficult because I loved Spin the Dawn when I read it 3 years ago. Like I'm not hating this, but this is very much the same as like Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior for me. Very much like 3 stars. I'm not hating it, but it's just so incredibly fast paced that I'm just missing the character development, and that's just, I don't know. I feel like I've become pickier as a reader. And yeah, like it's such a quick story. I mean, I won't DNF it because literally, I think if I read for like 1.5 more hours, I would finish this. Because it's like such a quick read, but yeah, like I said, I probably waited too long to read this for me to still like love it.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit sad, honestly, but hey, at least I'll be able to tell Esme that I finished it after 3 years.
Manga series has read is the best feeling ever. All right, so do we have any other things we want to say? Anyone want to say anything?
We probably might want to announce the next series.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I don't know it, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It just sounds good. Yeah, so I think we're set on the series. So I don't know, Kira, do you want to do the honors because you did?
Yeah. Let me get the books like really quick. Let me go get the books. Just
Let's make it dramatic.
They're like right over there.
Oh, the suspense! The suspense is killing us. I'm honestly so proud of myself because I have, like, so far this year, I have only bought 2 books that were not sequels, and I already read one of them. So I'm actually really proud of myself.
Good job.
My book and the sequels that I bought were all like special editions, which I want like matching series of. So like I allowed myself to buy those. So my book buying plan is actually going quite well.
Yeah, it's March already. Respect.
Yeah.
Almost halfway through March, even.
Yeah.
Almost. But drum roll, please.
Okay. So we were looking at the Armored Saint trilogy. They're nice, thin books.
Quick and easy for a change.
As from what I remember, like they're portal gates to hell. So, fantasy series, adult, and they're all just really like thin and fun and stuff. We figured it would be fun, like to have a nice, thin, quick fantasy series to read.
Yes.
Instead of having to struggle with like, John Gwynne with 750-page high fantasy books. We give you something quick and easy with like 200 pages a month.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, considering it's already, like you said, halfway through March.
Yeah, we're a bit behind.
Yeah.
I was thinking we probably want to like maybe we could talk about this end of April actually, so make it like people have like a month and a half because we've not shared it. Don't know how you guys feel about that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Me too.
And we definitely want to do some reading sprints, I think.
Mhm.
So we'll share all of those details, and I'll do it now. So I took a screenshot of you showing the thing, so I feel like it'll be fun for Twitter.
Yep.
But yeah, Larissa
Well,
said never
We're going
heard
to
of
have
these.
to like block this, but looking at the dates, I'd say reading sprints will most likely be the 16th of April and the live show the 30th, which is like halfway through the month and the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. Let me have a look.
Yes,
So for
I'm
the
going.
people who are here with us, we haven't discussed this. We're just literally doing this now live on camera, but based on what we've been doing, those are looking the likeliest.
16 works for me.
I have to find out when I'm coming back because I'm going to be flying out on that earlier, like that week. So I have to find out like what day I'm coming back.
Exciting. Yeah, let us know. But those dates work for me. But we can always move it. It's not deep. It's all good.
We could do the sprints a week earlier if that works better.
So
Or
the 9th definitely doesn't work for me. But
sorry,
the 9th. But the 2nd, 16th, 23rd, 30th, all are fine. So.
Yeah, Easter's on the 9th here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't do shit with Easter, so I don't take into account stuff like that. So, but you know, whatever works for you. Unless I forget like my sister's birthday again, like I did last week. Oopsie.
Okay.
Oopsie. Well, no, I'm not going to forget her birthday again because it'll be, you know, not happening for another year. I only have one sister, so. But yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
We will let you know all the details, but at least you know that's the series we're going for.
Yes.
Nice and short.
Yes. I hope it does echo the saying by it's so amazing that you can never hope for another series as good as that. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I've never heard of it either before, Kira. You mentioned it, but it sounds so good. I'm very excited that it's short. I'm like, I've got a lot going on, so I'm like, the shorter the better.
Yeah, they're Tor.com, right? The publisher.
Yep, Tor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like Tor has some great like novellas.
Yeah.
Because I think The Way Where Children was published by Tor. I think A Psalm for the Wild Build was published by Tor. The Murderbot series was published by Tor, I think. Like they have some really, really great like novellas. So I have really high hopes for this one, just based on the publisher because I don't know the author. So
yeah, I need to check if my library has it. I moved, so I have a new library. I'm yet to go to it because it's like a bit far, but I'm very excited because it's in the same borough. So in London, they have these things boroughs, but it's like a district basically. So almost all of London libraries are interconnected with each other. And when the guy was like, "Yeah, you can totally just like take your books from the other library on the other side of London and return in this one," I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I had a lot of books taken out.
Yeah, I'm so sad that our libraries don't really stock. I mean, they stock English books, but only like the really popular ones, or in other words, the ones I already read. So for me, it's usually not really worth, you know, becoming a member of the library, even though it's like literally 50 meters that way. It's like there's one block in between, like apartment block, and then there's the library. So I could walk to the library, but. And this is not a particularly large like village or city or whatever. So even if they have English books, the selection just isn't going to be amazing.
Right.
Like I already know. So I'm sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, my choice of English books in the library hundredfolded once I moved to England, because in Poland it was also grim. To be fair, they sell some in shops, but not like the library doesn't really have any. Oh man, it'd be so cool. I'm very excited about this new library. But yeah, my other library was like 3-4 minute walk from my house. It was so good. So good. But now I have to like take the train to go to it. But it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
If it's a good library, it's always worth it.
Mhm.
I agree. So I need to actually go to it. I've not had time. I'm on my library app now. Wow, they can even tell you which library is closest to you by your location. Nice. But yeah, I'm excited about this Armored Saints series, and definitely be doing all the announcements and stuff like that, and try to give people more heads up this time, because my bad. You know what Twitter's been doing to me? It's so annoying. So it doesn't tell me I have a new message to like click on, and then it says message. So I was like, oh, you guys not replied. That's all right. I'll check some other day. And you replied this whole time. It just didn't tell me. I was so annoyed. And it's been doing that a couple of times now, and I look like a dickhead just ignoring people. Like, I feel so bad.
No, it's okay. I didn't think you were being a dick. Let's just put it that way.
No.
It's okay. Well, because you guys are nice, but still. I was like, God damn it, Twitter.
No, I get that. I had that a couple times as well. It was like, because usually like the notification will pop up. I have push notifications turned off, because otherwise it will send me stuff for everything, and I'm like just going crazy. But I do have it on like in the app, so like it will like show like the one thingy that you have a message, and it didn't do that. So if I don't have messages, I don't check my messages. And it was like, turns out 3 people have messaged me, and I was like, I'm sorry, because technology was being a bitch.
I agree. That's the same for me. Yeah, because if you have Twitter notification on, you get notifications of everything.
Yeah.
People like your post, and they're like, oh, ooh, look what just came up on my feed. I'm so excited. Are you guys watching the Shadow and Bone series?
That's coming on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yes, March 16th.
Okay, well, I guess I know what I'm going to be doing all Thursday. I only work 2 days this week, Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm off for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I have like if we work overtime, I chose to get those hours back in free time, instead of having them paid, where you pay like a shitload of tax over your extra hours. I just choose like to not have them be paid, but to just get it back in time. So if I work an hour extra, I get an hour of free time back.
Nice.
And I had like a couple about 3 days worth of hours like left over that were due to expire, basically, because you have to use them in 16 weeks. Otherwise, they will get paid to you, but then you have to pay the shitload of tax, and I'd really rather not, because it's like over 50% tax, and I'm like, I'm not harming the government any more than I have to, basically. So I was like, this is my spare week, basically. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to do a lot tomorrow and Tuesday, because I'm going to be sitting next to someone who's driving a truck, and I'm not allowed to drive a truck. So I'm literally just going to be sitting next to them and just watching them all day, basically.
Sounds hard.
Sounds easy money.
Oh man, I have leftover 3 days of holiday from last year, so I need to use it up before March ends, because then it expires, but I don't get paid for it. It just expires. So I'm like, what should I do? Ideally, nothing. I just want to sit in my house and read and don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for like 3 days, except not read, but watch Shadow and Bone.
Nice. I've been on such a Shadowhunter kick. I think I told you last time we saw each other. So I watched that first season like a day, and then the rest I've been trickling. But now somehow I ended up on Hunger Games TikTok, and now I'm obsessed. I need to rewatch those. I want to reread them. Like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like on a the 100 binge. I'm literally 2 episodes away from the season finale of season 5, and that's like took me 2 weeks. So I may have issues, but I don't know, like I was doing that with Teen Wolf too the other day because like I never finished watching it. Like I stopped somewhere season 6, I want to say. But I'm like in season 5 now with Teen Wolf, and I'm fully reminded why I stopped watching. And I kind of want to finish watching, but I really don't.
Yeah.
And I'm
There's that movie now as well.
100 because I
Mm.
stopped watching like after season 6, and then I saw spoilers for season 7, and I was like, fuck no. So I kind of want to watch it, and I kind of don't. So the
Yeah.
irritation's already building up because from season 5 onwards it started going wrong. That's happening again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was like watched the first season of Shadowhunters. I was like, oh my god, it's not that bad, and it started getting way more boring. Now I'm like, I remember why they canceled it. Oh man.
for me with Shadowhunters, I couldn't deal with the actors for like Clary and Jace.
Mm.
Yeah, they
I
don't
just-
bother me so much this time around, but I remember first time I ever watched season 1, I was like, why is her hair orange? It's not
Right.
ginger, it's orange.
Like I didn't even mind the orange hair. It's just like her mannerisms or something, I guess. I was so annoyed by her. And I don't know, I couldn't take him seriously with his frown and his poofy lips, and I don't know, I couldn't. He bothered me. Like
fair
I
enough.
loved Alec and Magnus
And
and
easy.
I
yeah.
loved them, but I just could not with Clary and Jace. Like I was like, no.
Yeah. The first time I ever watched it, I remember thinking like if you take Alex, Izzy, Alec, and maybe Simon, and then from the movies you take Jason Clary.
Yes.
Perfect cast.
Yes.
Perfect. Because like Alec and Izzy in the movie, I was like, absolutely not. But like they're just not from the books. They're just completely different. But then like,
Mhm.
But
the
they're
TV
also
show
too
nailed them.
old in the series.
Alec looked 30. I'm like, you're meant to be like 18.
Yeah. To be fair, I think he was 30. And I mean, I
Well-
guess like it's normal that actors are older than the characters they're portraying, and I don't necessarily mind that. But you know, for some of them, they're like, you look like almost you look like you could be their father, you know, or their mother, and I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they were like aged up, because like that's what they did for Game of Thrones and everything. Because like basically like Daenerys was supposed to be like 14 in the first season, and they just aged her up because
Even Rob was something like 15 years old or something.
Yeah. They're all very, very young.
Yeah, that would have been a very different show.
Hold on one second.
No worries. I'm also watching Daisy Jones the Six, but I've only watched the first 3 episodes. I need to watch the.
Yeah, I was so sad on watching the Twilight, like at least Twilight, the first one, yesterday. And it had been removed from Netflix, so I resorted to watching the Titanic instead because that was the closest search like hit that came up. So I just spent 3 hours watching a boat sink.
Oh my god. I love that you were like, I'm gonna watch Twilight. Oh wait, it's not there. Let me watch Titanic. Like the two are like
No, but I searched for Twilight and Titanic came up. Like, that's not my fault. That's the algorithm's fault.
Oh my god. Oh, it would have been better off like going the Hunger Games route. Like,
It's been like so long since I watched the Titanic though, and there's like so many things that are actually like so much more horrible than I thought than I remembered they were. So I mean,
watched it over Christmas break because my parents, it was on the TV, so I went down. I was like, "Oh, wait, what are you watching?" And you know when you like sit down for 5 minutes and then you just stand up, staying there for the whole thing, and then it was like sobbing at the end. My parents were
like the final scene just had me in tears
every time.
I still think he could have fit on the door with her, but
yeah,
apparently it wasn't a matter of not fitting, but a matter of buoyancy. Apparently, yeah.
What are you watching, Kira? Anything exciting?
I'm finishing up episode 6 of Daisy Jones and the Six.
Yeah, when you were gone, I was saying that I watched the first 3, so I need to continue the ones that came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you liking it? What do you think?
I mean, it's like the VH1, you know, like when they were famous kind of feel to it. I always felt like I felt like that when I was reading the book too, so I'm kind of glad it had the same feel. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Like I don't know like that I think the music's amazing or anything, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I read the book first time like physically, and I didn't particularly like it because I felt like it was a bit. If you just read it with your eyeballs, it's a little boring because it's like transcripts, right?
right.
Then I listened to an audiobook recently because I knew the show was coming out. Liked it way more. I still didn't like love as much as I love some of her other books, but it was good. But the show, obviously I only watched the first 3 episodes, but I feel like it's doing a good job of being like faithful to the book and like portraying the book. Not in all aspects, like there's some changes, but like the vibes of it are good, same. So for that, I'm like, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. But I know what you mean about the music. It's a little bit like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, who is the author again? Because I'm trying for the life of me to remember, but I can't.
Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I was like, because of the last name, but it's like I was like, that's not her. I couldn't. Yeah. No. Okay. Thank you.
She wrote Evelyn
Seven Husbands of
Hugo.
Evelyn.
Seven
Hugo.
Husbands. Yes, that's one. That's the one.
Funny how I can't remember the name of the author, but I can just rattle off the book title in under 2 seconds flat.
Have you read it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's probably like the worst part. I think Malibu Rising, like she also wrote that one.
Yeah, and the one about tennis. Cara something.
Carrie Soto is back.
Oh,
That's
right.
it. See, I read all of them but Malibu Rising.
Is that about tennis?
Yes, but it's amazing. I think so at least. I really loved it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really felt attracted to her books, I guess. But I mean, it's the same for me with like Legends and Lattes. Like I hear everyone raving about it, and I'm just like, I don't. It doesn't pull me in like at all.
I mean, it's just like historical fiction without any, fantasy elements or anything like that. Depends if you enjoy that kind of thing. I really love Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I really love Carrie Soto is back. But I don't really read any other historical just fiction than her books. But her books are good. But there's gonna be a movie for Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. You also The Seven Deadly Husbands of Evelyn Hugo / Hardcastle. And yes, I always get confused between the two because there's 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, right?
Yeah, for the longest time, I just thought they were like the same book. And then I was like, turns out they were like 2 books. I think they came out pretty close together as well.
Yes, they did. And I read them like super close to each other too. And I'm always
I was like, who approved of this? Because it's like
both are very good though. I really like 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle.
I tried to get into that one and I just couldn't do it. I tried so hard to get into that one.
I think it's a very acquired taste. It was weird. It was like a murder mystery, but also a sci-fi, and it was very like. But I loved it. But I can see why you would, if you wouldn't, why you wouldn't. He has another book, something about water. Oh my god, I'm so bad at the titles. Devil in the Water, Water Devil,
something like that.
Something like yeah.
What's the author's name?
Why are you quizzing me? I'm joking.
I was going. Let me 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn. Why is it not showing up? Stupid Goodreads.
Oh, Goodreads is the
Stuart Turton.
That's the one.
Let me see.
It's called something Devil in the Water or something like that.
The Devil in the Dark Water.
That's it. That's the one. I want to read that as well. It's very big.
Is it?
It's very thick from what I've seen. Like
463 pages according to Goodreads.
Oh, it looks way thicker when you look at the hardcover because
Yeah. Like... I mean I have that with Priory of the Orange Tree because I had like the original hardback and I just got the broken binding set in. And I was like, did they take pages out of the first book? Because like the one in the broken binding set is in my opinion, quite a bit smaller than the original one. So it just depends on like the thickness of the paper and all that.
It's always so funny to me when you have the cover come out and then you see the paperback and you're like, huh? Like, it's just like fifth the size, and you're like, how do you fit all these words in here?
How does it fit?
How
Yeah,
does
I
it
have
work?
that with War and Peace because like my edition is not that big. I swear to you, like it's big, but it's not as big as it, would have to be if you know the amount of pages and everything. And then I opened it, and it's like literally font size 4, and it's like I need a magnifying glass to read this. And I was like, okay, now I know why it's not so big.
Yeah. I read something recently. My eyes actually hurt. It was such tiny like print, and you're there like, yeah. It's like the first time I read Crescent City, and that's a big hardback. I opened it, and the pages were Bible thin. They were so thin. I was like,
I'll be right back. I'm just going to check mine now.
mine was like, you could probably see through it. I was like, oh no. Ah, that was a thick book. Ah.
I'd rather have a thicker book like with bigger writing than a thinner book with smaller writing, because like to me it's like to me it feels more easily digestible if the writing's bigger.
I don't want to sit there and squint trying to read this book, and then your fingers hurt because it's so tightly like woven together. Like, I used to be a paperback girly all the way. I respect a hardback now because they are sometimes easier to read and open. Like, I don't mind breaking my paperbacks, so, like spines, it's fine. But if you don't want to, then you have to sit there like this, trying to read. Honestly, it's painful.
Yes.
Okay, just got my workout in.
Oh god, these look like they could take out a child.
I swear to you, look at the difference.
Wow.
Oh.
Do you see that?
The difference, yeah.
Let me see.
I'm curious to know like if the Illumicrate books are going to be the same way.
Like, look at that.
Damn.
They're the same book, I should hope.
But
one of them doesn't have this.
Gorgeous.
See, that one's just plain. I don't know. I guess the pages are a lot thinner. Yeah, the pages are a lot thinner. They're not quite Bible pages yet, but let me just see this one now. Oh, yes. See, I read this as an ebook because I was not going to hold an 800-page book for however long it took me to read it. But yes, those are Bible pages.
Yep. The sequel wasn't quite so bad, but yeah.
How about you stay open? It's not staying open. We have an issue here. Okay, now the sequel's pretty thin too. As in the pages of the sequel are pretty thin. I need to speak in full sentences.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can presume we do that to our books. But yeah.
Yeah, but I am like wondering like if Illumicrate is going to make the Priory of the Orange Tree smaller.
I don't know, because I got the Jasmine Throne book from Illumicrate, like a special edition, because you know when we were at the Yolk Festival, I wanted her to sign the book. Didn't realize I could have just gone to freaking Waterstones and bought a normal book, but I got the Illumicrate edition, and it's so unnecessarily thick, and I'm just so confused because like the paperback is like this big. It's not such a big book, and they just like spread it, like I don't know, they must have spread it out so much, and the font must be huge. It's in the other room, but like it's enormous, and I was shocked. I was like, I've read this already. It wasn't that big, so maybe they have a thing for that. I don't know. I only have 2 Illumicrate books. So
yeah, but like to be fair, Priory isn't that big. It has like really enormous font and really big margins too.
Yeah, but to be fair, like the audiobook for you, I think it's like 24 hours or something. Like it's quite sizable. Like it's
I-
not a short book.
Like I saw a TikTok and it's they compared like word count instead of like page count or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They compared like word counts, and it turns out that I believe it's like Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson is literally twice the amount of words as this one. Yet the physical book, is still thinner than Priory.
Crazy.
So I don't know what they did with this one. Yeah, I know what they did. They put really thick pages, large font, big margins, all that.
Yeah, so the audiobook was 26 hours long. I guess that's not, the person must have spoke very slowly because I think I have Warbreaker. What do I have?
I think Warbreaker's like 40 something.
Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe that makes sense.
I think it was Warbreaker. It could have been like Oath something. I don't know what the names are, but it was like one of the latest Brandon Sanderson books.
Yeah. I've got The Way of Kings, which is 45 and a half hours long.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get to that book. My God. Well, I paid for the audiobook, so.
That's my issue with like Brandon Sanderson. Like I'd love to read it, but I'm so intimidated because like so many of his books are so big. So I feel like it's just going to take me 4 years to just read his books.
Nice. Oh, I really want to read that, but I remember nothing about Priory, so I feel like I should reread it. But it's too much.
Yeah, I didn't mind it so much because it seems bigger than it is.
Yeah, to be fair, maybe if I read my physical copy, but it's somewhere in the attic of my boyfriend's parents' house, so I need to get it from there.
What do you call that? It's not a
You're not lying. Oh my God. All right, guys, I'm sorry, but I think I need to go. But it was so nice hanging out.
Yes.
We didn't talk much about the book, but I guess we just didn't have a lot to say about it.
No.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about Armored Saints, though. I shall announce on Twitter today, I promise. I'll be good and make all the graphics and stuff. All right. I don't know if you guys want to hang out any longer or.
No, I think we'll call it a day too. I don't know. Unless Kara says I want to stay, because I'll happily stay because I have nothing else planned.
I'm gonna go see Ant-Man today. Actually, I'm excited.
Ooh, I hope you enjoy it.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, nice.
Yeah, thank you. I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm just happy to go to the movies. So next weekend, I'm seeing Puss in Boots with Hannon. And I'm very excited because I heard it's really good.
Yeah,
I headed too.
Some people claim it's Shrek level of good. I'm like, I need to see this for myself. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for reading this series with us or just coming to hang out.
All right. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm doing the royal wave because I am not getting tired.